Everyone, I'm Manoj Kumar, and today in this session, in this video, I'll be talking about characteristics of management. In the earlier video, we talked about the first chapter, nature and significance of management, and then we saw in detail what is the concept of management, what does it mean, how it is all pervasive, how it is found everywhere.
Now, we will be talking about the various characteristics of management, right? What are its features? What are its characteristic features? So, management is a goal oriented process, is the first one. It is there very much in the definition itself that it is a process of getting things done with the aim of achieving preset or predetermined goals. If there is no goal, there is no task, there is no objective to achieve, in that case there is no need for management. In that case there is no need for management. In case of cricket team, the objective, the goal of the cricket team is to win a tournament, World Cup for example, right? So if that goal is not there to win the World Cup, then there is no purpose of having a team, a captain or manager or other staff. Then it is all pervasive. All pervasive, what do you mean by pervasive? Like air is all around us. It is all pervasive. It can be found everywhere. Similarly, management has to be there in every type of organization we have seen earlier. Whenever there is a task, there is a goal, there is an objective, we need many different persons, a team, a group to achieve that objective, and then only then it has to be done. We have seen in the very beginning, whether it is a big organization or a small organization, public or private, manufacturing or service, for profit, not for profit, political, religious, social, whatever, any type of organizations, they all of them have a goal to achieve and all of them are needed to have management. Only then that goal can be achieved, things can get done. Then management is multi-dimensional. There are three dimensions to it. One is management of work, management of people and management of operations. Right? Now, let us take an example. Let us take the example of a restaurant. In the case of restaurant, its main work is to satisfy the diners. Satisfy the diners, give them a service so that they not only visit them the next time but also recommend them to their friends, relatives and acquaintances. That's why we are supposed to rate them. If you go to a restaurant, they will ask you to rate them, or when you avail of the services of Ola or Uber, they will ask you to rate them as per your perception. So that is the management of work, how it is done. In the case of a school, the main work of a school is to provide educational services, complete the syllabus, give good result. That is its work. Then we have management of people. We have seen that we are talking about a team, we are talking about a group, we are talking about team members, we are talking about group members. There are waiters in a restaurant, there is desk manager, there are cooks, right? Now, in a school, there are teachers, non-teaching staff, transport staff, librarian, games and sports, arts and craft, visual arts, performing arts. So, this management of human resources within an organization is very important to keep them satisfied, to keep them happy, to win their loyalty. That is management of people. And then there is management of operations, how it is done. In the case of restaurant, when we enter it, there is someone at the gate, he or she opens the gate, we sit, a waiter comes, takes the order, brings the food, then we go to the counter or there at the table itself we make payments. There is kitchen, there are cooks, how it is done. In the case of school, how the teachers are performing in the class, how the exam is taken, how the transport staff is behaving, what is being done in the library. These are the various examples, these are the operations. If there is exam, how it is conducted, the setting of questions, the evaluation of exam papers, bringing out the result. So this is the operational part. So that is management of operations. And then another is management is a continuous process. When we say management is a continuous process, what do we mean? We mean that it moves in a circle. We begin with planning, then we organize, then we collect the staff, hire them, appoint them. So from planning we move to organizing, then staffing, then directing, and then controlling. And then at the end of it, based on our experience, past experience, our mistakes, good and bad, we come up with an amended plan, and then the whole process begins once again. The whole process begins once again. So it is a continuous process. It is not that it is a one-time process, it is a one-time effort, right? Then management is a group activity. We have already seen that management is a process of getting things done. Herein what we mean is there is a team, there is a group. Like we have different subject teachers in school. In a restaurant there are different cooks, South Indian, continental, intercontinental, vegetarian, non-vegetarian, Chinese, right? So all of them have to perform as per their assigned task. Like in school, we have different subject teachers who have to complete the syllabus of their particular subject. Then management is a dynamic function. When we say dynamic, it means it keeps on evolving. What was bad yesterday is good today and will be bad tomorrow. It keeps on changing, it keeps on evolving. Like corporal punishment in schools. Earlier when we were students, teachers used to beat us black and blue. There was no restriction. But nowadays, we as teachers can't beat our students. It has been prohibited by law. Earlier, there was no e-commerce, there was no e-business, there was no e-banking. We used to get our results through newspapers. Now we download admit card, we download mark sheet, we book rail tickets, we book air tickets. So management is dynamic. With the use of technology, one person can get connected with many different persons, 100, 200 persons. So this is how there is change in the way the management approach the work, the people and the operations. And then management is an intangible force. You are aware that by intangibility we mean something which is only felt, which is only felt. We can't touch it. We can't touch it like abstract noun, honesty, dishonesty, sincerity. So, if the management is good enough, things will get done smoothly without us knowing it. If you go to, for example, a government hospital, things are generally not in order. You have to run from here to there. If you go to a private hospital, things are well managed, right? So, if the employees are happy, the employees are satisfied, they are loyal to the organization, they have a sense of belongingness towards the organization. So, this is what is management is an intangible force. When you go to a feast, there are different counters, snacks, vegetarian, non-vegetarian, starters. Everything is going smoothly. There are signboards, there are indicators. We are well aware where we can find anything. Everything is in order. Everything and every person is at his or her place. There are enough materials in the pots. There is no hue and cry, no shouting. In that case, we don't feel that there is someone to manage it, because all the group members, all the team members are well aware of the task they have to perform. They are doing it as per the scheme, as per the plan. In that case, you will not be able to find out who is the manager, who is the staff, how it is being done. So, this is like a well-oiled machine which keeps on running smoothly. So, that is what is meant by management is an intangible force, right? So, today in this session we saw what is management, how it is defined, what are the key points in its definition. We also talked about the various topics that we have to study in this chapter, and then specifically we talked about the characteristics of management, its features, its characteristic features. In my next video, I will be moving ahead and going forward. We will be taking up objectives of management and importance of management and so on. What I would expect all of you to do is to relate whatever you read in your book to your surroundings. Put it in right context. Because unlike science, where we read theories in book and move to a laboratory to do the experimentation, what happens here is we are reading in the book and we can visualize it very well. I gave you examples from restaurant, from school, from hospital, from a bank. So you can relate whatever you read to your surroundings, and if you can do that, believe me, more than half of your work is done. Right? Thank you.